if we all have our agendas, I want to start again with a quote, if I may. Last month, our library book club read a book called The Library Book. And if you haven't read it, it's fascinating about the Los Angeles Library and the great, terrible fire they had, I think, in the 80s, and about the history of it. But in that book, it quoted the UNESCO, United Nations organization, had a library manifesto, and that manifesto said as follows: the library is a prerequisite to let citizens make use of their right to information and freedom of speech. Free access to information is necessary in a democratic society for open debate and creation of public opinion. I thought that was a good quote to remember as we make decisions and as we try to reopen our library.
That's great, Ed.
So if we could, I'm going to call us to order. Now it is 6:36. And Cindy, if you could do the roll call.
Okay, Ed?
Yep.
Lynn? Lynn?
Sorry, I had to unmute. I'm here.
Okay, Gary?
Here.
Libby? Not here? Is Libby here?
No.
Okay. Lori?
Here.
Jeanette?
Here.
Chris? No, Chris? Kathy, I saw you.
Yep.
Me, Jenna, and Kathy O'Neill.
Yeah. Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Very good. Thank you, Cindy. I just want to make first a statement that we are meeting online in a Zoom meeting, and in accordance with a statement by the Missouri Attorney General's office, it's public organizations can meet this way during the coronavirus stay at home, and it is all right for us to make decisions on things, routine and essential matters, and so we are in accordance with that.
Okay.
The agenda, you all have hopefully a copy of that. And if you are, I'd like to thank Jenna and Cindy, but Jenna especially for her patience and getting the agenda together, because I know I made a couple of changes, and as I always do, and I appreciate it. We think we got a way to work it out in the future. So, are there any changes to the agenda? If not, a motion to accept it would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we accept the agenda as submitted. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Okay, we will move on to the minutes of the March 20th meeting. We, of course, don't have any for April because we didn't meet, but March 20th meeting, those minutes have been submitted to you. Thanks again, Cindy, for your hard work and your patience.
Oh,
Are there
you.
any
I think you mean March the 3rd.
to the minutes of the March 20th meeting?
March 3rd?
March 3rd.
March, well,
2020.
I'm sorry, March 2020 is what I meant.
Close. You know, if you guys are going to do the motions and stuff right now, I don't have any video. So just tell me who you are.
Okay.
Okay.
Jeanette motions that we accept the minutes as presented.
Okay,
It's been moved. Is there a second?
I will.
Second, moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. The next thing on our agenda is the public comment section. And I just wanted to say, obviously, we don't have any members of the public, which has again been approved and authorized. But this meeting is being recorded. And Jenna, I'm correct that it's going to be on our website or available if people request, and they can listen to what happened in the meeting. Will they be able to watch it, or is it going to be a video recording? Or
Yes, it will be a video recording. So we'll put it, like you said, we'll make a link available on the website where we currently post our I guess our agenda. I might put it in a separate place so people can see it from the front page too.
Okay, thank you. And Obviously, we would reiterate that any questions or comments from the public are always welcome. Jenna, as the library director, is able to take those by email or in person at the desk when she's there. And we, of course, welcome them too. How about the aldermanic report, Kathy?
Yes, I don't have a lot that affects the
You're turned
library.
off.
The board is spending a lot of time looking at
Anybody
financials.
here, Kathy?
Yes.
Dan,
I can hear fine.
Okay,
I'm not
Um,
hearing her.
the city pretty much runs on sales tax. 72% of our income is sales tax, and with so many businesses closed, we are revising our income for the year. I don't think that is true of the library. I think you have a regular
I'm
tax.
sorry. Can I raise your hand if you all can hear Kathy?
I can hear Cindy.
For some reason, I'm not hearing you.
I can hear fine.
Can you hear me, Ed?
I hear a bird.
Yep,
Is it a bird or a cricket? I can't tell.
it's a public comment.
I wish it was trying to mate and then it would be.
It's the cricket gallery.
So anyway, I
I'm not
don't
hearing
think
anybody
the
now.
financial problems
Weird.
affect the library, so there really isn't anything else to report that
I'm
would.
not hearing you either, Jenna.
Do you have someone there you could call to help? I'm not sure what it doesn't look like you're muted. Let me look.
No, I can hear him. Yeah, I hear you fine, Ed.
Raise your hand if you can hear me. Okay.
Put your heads down on the
I'm not
desk.
hearing
and raise your
anybody
hand.
else. Let me
How do
look
I
on
get-
my volume.
How can I get back on video? This
Oh, yay, Libby.
Libby,
Is Libby there?
Yes.
There
she
she
just-
is.
She just came on.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Hi,
What I'm
Libby.
going to do is real quickly leave
There
the
she
meeting
is.
and then come back on. Because I was hearing you all before, so I don't know why. I'll be right back.
So we talk about him while he's gone.
Yeah.
oh
And he
yeah.
can't hear us
that's great.
anyway, so it won't matter.
Hi, Libby. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Pretty good.
I don't know how I missed that email. I looked for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You found it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lynn resent it to me. Maybe I accidentally deleted it. I don't know.
Okay.
I've been zooming
little bit-
all day though.
Oh, I've been zooming all day and it's like making my brain hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit confused with the emails because we have a lot of duplicates. There's the BPL.org addresses for some people and
Yeah.
alternate addresses too.
I just want to make sure that people get it. So I don't know if people are just checking their BPLMO accounts or they're just their personal accounts. So I figured I'll just send it to all of them.
Makes sense.
Well,
Can you hear us,
last
Ed?
time, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. He's connecting.
All right. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very sorry. I don't know what happened. Kathy, how was that wonderful report? Go ahead.
I don't really have anything to add. There's nothing else that I think the library board needs to be aware of.
Okay. We don't know anything more. What's the building status of all the offices been moved into now in the upper floor?
We're not going in to find out, so I don't know. We're all working remotely, so I don't know. I haven't seen the new City Hall lobby, which is supposed to be very attractive. So, at some
Okay. All right. Well, then let's move on to the library director's report. Beautiful report. Go ahead. Sir.
Yeah, so I sent out my report, so I don't feel like I need to, unless you want me to go over something or answer questions.
Mm-mm.
I feel like I kind of ran down what we've been doing. It's just been a strange time. I don't know how else to say it. But one thing I was thinking about today that is that maybe maybe in the future, we want to think about doing like Chromebooks for the trustees. Do you think that's something that you guys might be interested in? So that way I could like have everything set up on there, like, so we'd have access to documents and access to email, like a Google account. So I don't know, maybe just something to put out there and see if that's something you all would be interested in.
Personally, I don't need another device to worry about.
No, I don't either.
Okay,
My iPad works fine.
excellent. Okay.
I
Okay.
might have- I might have to do iPad next time. We are just having one problem after the next with the laptop, and neither of us wants to buy a new laptop. So we'll work it out just somehow, but it's a good idea though, Jenna, to have, to have that, but I think we should think about it. I don't know, we have to make a decision.
Oh yeah, I just thought I'd throw it out there. It just occurred to me that maybe, I don't know, if it would be easier to have something you could keep all your documents on, or, but, all right. But does anybody have any questions about the library and what's been happening? I don't know if you guys have been following us on social media. That's pretty much where we exist right now.
How's the, have you looked at the surveillance camera? You think it's gonna do a good job?
Mm-hmm. I do. Actually, I went in yesterday and had it loaded on my laptop on the software on 3 other computers in the library. So that was the first time I actually got to see it, and it looks really good.
Right.
I mean, there's still holes because our stacks are, it's just problematic, I mean, unless we had one in every nook along the nonfiction, we're not going to see everything, but I feel like we can see, it's so much better. Like, so baby steps, and we can add cameras as we want.
How many are there?
Right now there are 6, I think.
I think that's right.
Yeah, and we have licenses for 8, so I know we could add 2 more if we wanted, and then after that we would just have to add another license to our account. But we have one in the lobby, and Darren from the IT department said that they did wire one in the parking lot. They just haven't put it in place.
Oh, good.
Wow.
So the wiring's there, they just don't have it set up. So that was good.
Good.
Very good, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the meeting regarding the policy on that. I just note from your newsletter that there are story times and yoga and other things that are happening online from the library. Have you had good response, good turnouts for those?
That one's hard to know. I mean, because really the only way you can know is like if people have viewed it or liked it. So we've had response, and I feel like, I mean, it was the first time we had the kids yoga. One of the regular kids, like the parent took a picture of them, like, they were very excited to see Miss Melissa. So that was nice. But it's yeah, really what you can tell are, how many people like stuff and how many people have viewed it. But
I guess my other question would be, I'm sure you've talked with other librarians in the area. Is there something that they're able to do during this lockdown that we are not able to do because we don't have the resources or something like that? Anything like that come to mind, or?
yeah, I mean, I think the big one for me is like I don't know, but I don't know if we have the need of it. It's like the county library. They have so many resources, and they already had resources in place for like providing food. But I don't know that we would need to duplicate that if the school is doing that already. But yeah, but food and now they're adding books to their food bags. So.
Right.
It's lovely, but they already have like branches that have refrigeration and, and the things that when we've looked into providing meals in the summer, the stuff that we just don't have. you know, you have to have a certain amount of space and a certain amount of kitchen area that we don't.
Is there anything else you'd like to do other than what you are doing? And it looks like you're staying very busy.
Yeah, I feel like the problem I'm having now is like just in this community is determining what people need. I mean, it's, you know, I feel like, you know, a lot of our population has internet access at home. I mean, if you just go by the statistics, but I know there are people that don't. So, you know, it'd be nice to be able to provide that, but I don't know, you know, it's just one of those things where you wish that you could do stuff, but, you know, short of, I don't want to like throw a bunch of money at something that isn't, you know, useful.
Right.
Do we
So I
ever
think
do an
about like,
assessment survey of what the community might want that we're not offering?
mhm. Yeah, but again, that's the problem. I don't know with the surveys, like, you know, it's certainly something we could put out there. Like, but then I feel like the people that you want to hit with the surveys are the people that aren't
Yeah.
connected. So I feel like that's just an issue that's more like underlying, and like addressing it now is hard while you're in the middle of something, you know?
Exactly. More reaction than action.
Exactly, yeah.
So Gina, are you thinking about
There's going to be a lot
doing
of
it
discussion, a lot of
a
industry
survey
about what
after
to do differently.
we come back online or open back up?
Some sort of discovery. I mean, I don't know. I like this, like, I always feel like surveys are just, you get such a dismal response, you know?
Oh. Mhm.
So yeah, it's like finding something that you can ask, like a way that you can ask and find out what people need without necessarily going that route. I don't know.
Can you tell us about Wandu? I saw that on your report. What's that all about?
So Wandu, it's a yeah, it's the online summer reading club, so people can register online and chart their progress online and get little badges and stuff.
Is that new?
Rewards.
Is it
No,
new?
it's been around. It's new for
Okay.
us. We've not used it.
Okay.
All right. Well, if there aren't any more questions, let's go on to old business. And major question is staffing during this stay at home and everything. And the first thing we need to do, as you know, on March 16th, he had an email vote to extend pay for the staff, full and part-time, up until May 17th. The first thing we need to do probably is to go ahead and ratify that decision that we made. And so if somebody can make a motion to ratify the email vote on March 16th.
So moved. Gary?
Gary, thank you.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? All right, then the question now is May 17th is coming up, and we need probably to make another decision on staff and keeping them on payroll and everything. And Jenna and I have been talking about that some, and I'm sure you may recall my March 16th memo in which I talked about what are the arguments in favor of keeping them on. And just real quickly to go over that, I said, we're in a truly unique situation, must be prepared to respond in a unique way, need to consider the safety and health of our patrons and staff. We've already budgeted the salary expenses. We're not really dependent on income missed during this period of time, especially with our no fine policy. Our staff would suffer inordinately with paychecks stop, and that we will continue to reassess on an ongoing basis and review other actions. Jenna, you want to explain, obviously, one way to handle this is just to continue this, extend it another month to like June 16th. But Jenna had a thought about part-time employees. You want to go ahead with that, Jenna?
Yes, so the HR gentleman in City Hall wrote to me and said that they had furloughed their part-time employees because they would get the extra federal benefits during this time. And I feel like he was telling me that he felt like that we should also consider this because our people might not get these benefits if we keep them, you know, on the payroll. So I feel like that's kind of a weird position to be put in, because if we have the money and we can pay our employees and we want to pay them, I feel like we should. But if we're not letting them get these extra funds because of that, then, you know, are we doing them a disservice? So that's kind of the place I'm at. I know that, like, I would just say, like, there was one person who is not a citizen and so would worry that she couldn't, maybe she wouldn't get the same benefits as a citizen. You know, I think there's a lot of anxiety about applying, and are you going to get, you know, it's just an unknown. And I feel like if we pay people, then that's a known. So I don't know. What do you all think?
I think that I'm having a hard time hearing because there's also like a bird going on at the same time. And so I'm having a hard time. I like
Everybody
hear like
mute maybe except for me.
I think you're outside, right, Lori?
I
She's
came
muted.
inside, so you
Oh,
can't, you
Barbara.
won't hear, I came inside, so you won't hear a bird from me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm in an enclosed porch. There are no birds in here.
Kathy has flipped her bird, so let's go on.
Okay.
Aha.
So the question is, do we give part-time, do we want to extend the salary to another month? And for part-time employees,
Okay, start over on that one. That was a,
do we want to give them the option of instead being furloughed and apply for the extra money, which I'm not completely sure if they would qualify. I've been reading things both ways, but give them the option though.
and this is only for part-timers, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the full-time, I honestly, I would not ask this of full-timers because we have health benefits and that would take away our health benefits.
Right,
So.
right, yeah.
I think if it's budgeted, we should continue to pay.
Me too.
I'd agree with that. And if this goes on for a long time, then we might have to reconsider. But I'm good for a couple more months.
Okay.
I agree with you, Jeanette. This is Cindy.
All right.
Who's on board?
Is there a motion on the floor? Could somebody make a motion as far as extending the pay another month?
So moved.
Emma, have you had anybody saying that any of our part-time people, have they said, oh, I think I can get more? I realize the concern about the one family not being citizens, but does anybody else feel like they would do better being furloughed than being paid?
Well, that's what, I mean, that is what the HR gentleman is saying.
Right, but have any of our part-time people said that?
No, I mean, nobody has said it, no.
Okay.
Would you feel more comfortable if the motion gave them the option of being furloughed and apply for that extra pay?
I'm wondering if we can do that. That's kind of my, I mean, I feel like maybe we could give an option if we could say that if you're not able to do like the work that we are asking you to do, like which would be webinars, that kind of thing. If you would want, then maybe if you weren't able to do that work, then, we could furlough you.
Would the maker of the motion accept that amendment to say we will extend it through June 16th, but give part-time employees the option if they wish to be furloughed and apply for the additional? Is that okay?
Is our fiscal year over? When is our fiscal year over?
December.
21st.
Okay, we're at December. Okay. All right. Can we make the motion until we get back in August? When do we?
We'll have a June meeting.
We will have one more board meeting. in
Oh,
June.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Then
I'm not gonna
I
vote.
accept the amendment to the motion then of my motion.
All right, so a motion has been made, amended and seconded that we extend the pay of part-time employees and staff through June 16th, but giving part-time employees the option of being furloughed and seeking additional compensation through the government program. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so that carries. If you'll let your staff know about that.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Well, we want to keep them too. Anybody who's ever hired people knows the cost of turnover and retraining is not worth it a lot of time. The next thing we had on the agenda, real quickly, effective meetings handout that we gave out 2 months ago. And I don't know if any of you have had a chance to look at it or have questions or anything, but I thought what I would do is just real quickly go over a few points. If anybody has any objections or any thoughts on it, you can raise them now or in the future. This came from United for Libraries Association.
This helps.
Library Trustees. In the introduction, it says that the board is the body that is ultimately accountable for ensuring that the money the library receives is well spent, that the services the library provides are equally accessible to all. And I think that's a good place to start when we think about what are we supposed to be doing anyway. There's another page that separates what board and director responsibilities are, which I think is really good as far as policy versus nitty-gritty details, day-to-day management. And every library director will probably tell you that the board is way too much. Probably some of your staff feels that too, but I think overall we do a pretty good job. Attendance, obviously it's important so that we can know what's going on. The agenda, I think it's so important that we try to plan and communicate ahead of time so we know what we're going to do. My responsibility is to keep us moving. It says in here that we should put time limit on the agenda for each item, but I'm not that comfortable with that simply because you never know how long some things are going to take. I think as long as I can keep the meeting moving, and if I don't, I know somebody who will tell me to get moving. Yeah, I know who you are. The board packet, there's some real good information just about the importance of financial oversight, especially with the budget. And then the final thing I just want to read is from the conclusion. It says that we need to spend our meeting time discussing policy issues, environmental concerns, what factors are affecting the library, such as funding, population shifts, political environment, and library goals. And I think, again, it's a packet you can go over when you have chance. If you have some questions or concerns, you can raise them now or you can raise them at another meeting. But I just thought it was a good handout for us to go over it sometime. So that's all I had on that. If everybody's okay, we'll move on. Safety Committee, the security policy. You all have a copy of that, the video camera security policy. And in case you did not know, Lisa helped us put this together. Am I right, Jenna?
Yes, we gave her that Ferguson policy that I liked, and she added some things to it.
And the, I don't know if you've had a chance to go over it. It talks about signage, it talks about security camera locations, so the records, the videos, who gets to request them, and how we retain them, and also about the parking lot. And there's also a form that you probably saw that about access, getting access to the records. So has anybody had have you had a chance to read it, and do you have any concerns or thoughts about the policy?
I read it, and it's a lot of legalese, but so my understanding is we will cooperate with, if a police officer comes in and says they want to see video without a search warrant. Is that correct?
Right. Then
Okay.
we could give them that paper to fill out.
Okay. And then if we have a subpoena, then we don't have any choice.
Right.
And then the sunshine law part, like someone could ask to see the video.
That's again with the form. I think that's why she created the form for us, so we could use that.
Okay, and so how long are we keep, oh, wait, 30 days.
30 days.
Okay. All right, I've missed that part. Okay.
We can't keep them longer if we think an incident might be needed to be kept on record, I believe.
We would need to have that set up ahead of time. Right now it's set up so that the hard drive like keeps it for 30 days and then wipes it.
Okay. All right. Okay, I can live with it.
Are there any other concerns or questions? If not, we need a motion to, a second to adopt this. It'll be put in the handbook. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say one thing too, and that's that I will have access to the recorded footage, and but the other people that will have access to the cameras will only have view only in the present time, just so you know. So people can't like go through and look and see what people are doing.
So that's what Ed is checking out.
Yeah.
I move that we adopt this. Are you ready to do that? Or,
Yeah,
all right.
there a motion?
Okay, Cindy, I move that we adopt the video surveillance policy as written.
Gary seconds.
There's been a motion and a second to adopt the security policy. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, and this will be put in our handbook. It'll be on display at the library and on our website. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Speaking of security, one more time, Kathy and Jenna, are we any clearer about back stairwell? Okay.
No, it's sort of been put on the back burner with all the other things that are going on. And since no one's in City Hall, I don't think they've really taken time to consider it.
So
we'll pursue it.
Okay, that is locked. That's closed off right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so until it opens up again, we'll just table that. But let's do keep an eye. I want Jenna and her staff to feel good about that. So.
Yeah, I agree. Will do.
Yeah.
Okay, something that was not on the original agenda, just real quickly, that's HB 2044, which is the parental oversight bill for libraries. I'm also on the board of directors of a group called Americans United for Separation of Church and State. We had a board meeting on Zoom last night, and our legislative liaison, I asked him about it, and he got back to me today and said that was never assigned to committee, so it's dead. It's dead.
Yay!
Yay!
I've apparently been assigned the task of keeping up on that for that group for next year, because I told him I know who's doing this. So,
That's good
next
news.
thing on the agenda is the treasurer's report. All right, Lynn, you're on.
Okay, so I learned a couple things today. We are only able to get financial statements right now that show year to date.
Okay.
So I don't have, and since we missed March, I don't have March year to date to then calculate an April year to date. So, to calculate April by itself, sorry. So the spreadsheet that you all got earlier today just shows April year to date compared to last year and budget. There are a couple areas where we are over budget to date. So I know like the books, let's see, miscellaneous expense were over by 365%. But the dollars we're talking about are pretty small. It's $915 is what we've spent. And we expected to spend about 250 for the up to this point. So it's a little hard to say without any detail what caused that. I guess the other really high difference is well, computer and legal. But we know about legal because we've been asking for help from Lisa for all these different things. And computer, Jenna, do you have a grant for any of the computer things that have been purchased, or?
No, that was the surveillance equipment.
Oh, okay. So, and again, over time, over the year, we may still end up being under budget because we anticipate spending equal amounts every month. We don't have enough information yet to really fine tune how much gets spent in one month over another. So I'm not terribly concerned at the moment. And overall, it looks like we're running about 80% of the budget under budget. So we're spending 80% of what we've allotted ourselves.
Okay.
We are saving money beyond anticipated, which I think supports our ability to keep paying those salaries. So I went out to the website today and learned that financial statements are on the city website through December of 2019.
Oh,
But those financials are not correct. They still do not reflect that the library has received any ad valorem taxes. So I sent Karen Shaw an email today. It was after hours, so I don't expect to hear from her for a day or two, asking what's going on and when we can possibly see completed 2019. And hopefully I'll have more on that. I'm trying to not be pushy now because I know we're switching over. So I don't want to put a whole lot of effort into getting 2020 to, I don't want them to work very hard on getting 2020 squared away if we're going to be changing anyway. But I definitely still want to see 2019 correct, and to know how much money we actually have already received versus what's still due to us.
Okay.
Yeah, I know last week on Thursday, I asked someone from accounting to help me with the report for the meeting tonight. And she said that she wasn't done with April's, and I know it's because we kind of fall at the beginning of the month. They're not done reconciling April yet by the time we meet. But I reached out again today, and I just didn't hear anything from her. So I was just like, I don't know. Like, I felt like I gave her lots of time. You know, I said I don't even need like up-to-date ones. I just need
Right.
something, you know.
Right.
I might respond to that too. The finance department has been busy doing projections of what our city budget would be like given various levels of sales tax revenue. And so we had a 2.5 hour meeting last night. So she's been busy doing that in some, but 2019 is another issue. And Lynn and, well, anybody, the city is a communications officer, so anything that's on the website could go through her. And if you can't get any other results, it's Janet Levy, and say you're concerned with the city website and the way the library is reflected on it, and maybe she can exert a little push there to help too.
That's a great idea. I just think it's funny. And unfortunately, we don't know for sure because we do not get copies of the bank statements, but I'm assuming that the money is still being transferred into our accounts. So it's frustrating to know, to think that they can do that, but they can't put it on in the system. So, but then I'm assuming that they're transferring that money.
I would hope.
Yes.
So is the accounting the accounting firm that we're hiring probably in business, open?
Yes.
I did start a QuickBooks account and I've been like, so I feel like we've done something. But I mean, I don't have any money to like to put in the QuickBooks. So, so yeah, so I guess, you know, as soon as we can hear something from the city, I feel like it's sort of dependent on.
Is this the lease part you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
So are we paying them money to just wait for us, basically?
We haven't paid them anything yet, but yeah, we will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Have we sent them information on, so you've set up the QuickBooks rather than having them set up the chart of accounts and all that?
No, I just, I subscribed to it. I haven't set it up. She was going to set it up for us. Yep. Sorry. That's what I meant.
thought.
Yeah. I just purchased it.
Okay.
I was gonna say, can we take part of the money that we know we have and put it into a new account and have her start taking money out of there?
I would love to do that. But we need to get that new account set up. And so I guess that's something Ed and I can work on. Those signature accounts.
Is this the one, the CBI or what's the
Yeah,
name?
the CIBC or
CBIC.
CIC.
Yeah.
MOUSC. Yeah. I thought we signed those papers to set that up.
I'm gonna have to revisit that because I feel like this all happened right before we closed. And then, yeah.
Well, let me know if I need to go somewhere with my mask on.
Okay.
I had a couple of questions.
Not to a bank.
I had a couple of questions. One, Gary, as an ex-teacher, did you bring enough to share with everyone? I noticed you drinking there. Did you bring enough to everyone?
Well, again, the truck could drive by.
Okay, well, that might be worth it. Lynn, if you look on the income statement by department, and under last year, prior year, it says 1/1 to 12/31. Year to date, 1/1 to 4/30, and I think that first column should be to 4/30, shouldn't it? Just looking at the dollar amounts, it makes me think that's supposed to be the first 4 months from last year.
Oh, are you looking at the financial statement that Jenna sent or the one that I sent?
Jenna.
Okay, yeah, that's from Jenna. And that's just the way it comes out of the system.
Okay.
If you look at my spreadsheet, I actually did do just to April. So we have April comparison to last year and budget.
They also have the full-time overtime probably is what's supposed to be full-time salaries.
Yeah, they have that in the wrong column.
Okay. All right, those are little things, but yeah. I look forward to this being clear as everything. Yeah, I know it will. Real quick, there was a rumor that the county assessor was going to be having some meetings to talk about the effect of the coronavirus on our tax receipts and everything. And I did check with Bola and also with Dr. Lane from the school district, and neither of them knew about anything, but they would be interested if there was something. So my question to you, Lynn, real succinctly, is there any effect on our income from the coronavirus as far as this year?
At this point, no. Our income is affected by
Property
how
tax.
the tax rate is, what the tax rate is that we set in September. So we would probably go ahead and say we want to take everything we can like we've been doing. And it's affected by the county's magic formula on what the property value is.
Okay.
Unless the county decides to do something different in assessing the value, there would be no change to us unless we want to make a change.
Okay.
You know, we are authorized to take that full rate without any issues. If we decided that, you know, because we do have a surplus at the moment and we decided that we wanted to reduce our rate by a penny or two, we could voluntarily do that and do that for 1 year and go back to taking full. The only thing that I can see that might be different is obviously if we're not out of this by December, people may not have the money to pay the tax bill. And so that would be the thing that's going to prevent us from having cash in hand is people paying the bill. They will have to pay it eventually. Whether, you know, if they lose their home and somebody else purchases it, all those back taxes have to be paid. So long term, we're going to get it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know right now if we're still going to be in this situation that people aren't going to be able to handle paying the taxes in the fall.
I want to make sure.
I would like to say the majority of people, like maybe 70%, probably have their taxes in escrow. So as long as they're making their mortgage payments, the taxes are going to get paid. So I certainly don't feel like we're going to be maybe only collecting half of what we should be getting.
So there again, if the city is furloughing employees because of their sales taxes, so much of their financial base, but we're not in the same situation.
Correct.
All right, let's
Oh, boy.
anything else regarding the treasurer's report? If not, let's move to new business. The first thing is election of officers. And I use my dictatorial powers to appoint Jeanette as a nominating committee. And I have to tell you a funny story. I will tell you after Jeanette gives her report. But first of all, just so that you know, our bylaws say that officers are elected in May to take office in June. Yeah, it's a regular meeting in May. The board shall elect from its members president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, take office in June, hold an office for a term of 1 year or until successors are elected. So, Jeanette, what is your report? I asked her to check on officers and she did.
Okay, everybody said they would come back to their position, except Gary wants to turn it over to the youngsters, and the youngsters have declined. So the old woman is going to be putting herself up as vice president. So
Which
it's
old woman? I'm probably the oldest one.
but you have a very important job and nobody wants that job.
Oh, okay.
Especially me.
Great.
So it's the same slate, except Barry is giving up his throne or his successor throne, and I'm filling in.
Now, last night, I was reading in bed my book for next week's book club, and I get this text message with a phone number, but no name on it. And it says, looks like I'm going to be vice president. And I immediately said, text back, who is this? It said, Jeanette. I said, oh, I thought it was Elizabeth Warren.
Seriously, yeah.
But
Okay.
anyway,
You need to update your contacts.
there's a slate offered by the nominating committee of myself, Jeanette, and Cindy and Lynn. Are there other nominations or requests?
Just jump right in there, anybody.
If not, is there a motion to elect the slate as submitted?
Gary moves.
So moved by the guy going off the slate.
Yeah, easy for him to say.
Second,
Jeanette seconds.
all in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. We appreciate your vote of confidence, if that's what it was. If it wasn't, we'll buy you a beer later.
Was that a no there at the end?
No, that was a yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the next issue is a board vacancy. A couple months ago, Chris asked to meet me at Redco Saturday morning, and he showed up in his bicycle outfit, which scared me like everything. Because he had his helmet and his glasses and everything. But anyway, he had said that because of his personal schedule and desires for travel and everything, he is stepping down after his term this June. I told him that we were going to miss his expertise and his questions and his wisdom, but he still would not stay on the board. So we have a vacancy in June. And I talked with Jenna, and I know I've talked with Kathy Neal about, you know, looking for diversity, looking for somebody for us to interview and everything. So if you have any suggestions, please give them to Jenna as soon as you can, so that maybe we can do interviews even before the next meeting if possible. So any thoughts on that?
We don't need Ward 2, and we don't need.
We need the Brentwood Forest, which is Ward
4.
4. Thank you.
We have an eternal problem of getting people from Brentwood to serve on any committee, whether it's an association one or a city one. So
Yeah.
I will keep working.
Thank you.
Well, if we need to do an interview, I'll be happy to help with that.
That'd be great. That'd be great. All right, then let's move on. The next thing on the new business is steps to reopen the library. And Jenna has given us a wonderful handout that came from the Missouri, is it the state library?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was from the state.
Has anybody had a chance to look at it a little about all the places and everything? Libby, you've probably seen some of this stuff too, I would assume, but Jenna, you want to talk real quick about the phases and what you're seeing as far as what's going to happen?
Well, I just wanted to say that we are also meeting the consortium. We're meeting with Kristen Sorth from the county library on Monday to talk about what St. Louis County, St. Louis Public, and St. Charles are talking about doing, because we all kind of want to get on the same page. But I've been told that nobody knows what they're doing. so that's always heartening. I feel like that's kind of how I've seen it. We've had weekly meetings with the state librarian, like everybody kind of convenes, and you know, some libraries that are in the rural areas have started this week. And I don't know, it's a scary prospect, I think, being in an urban area. And also the size of our library is very small.
Yeah.
So that makes me very concerned. I foresee, like, if we do open up as soon as the county, health department says it's okay, then just offering curbside at first and just kind of slowly assessing. I mean, there's even like talk about, I was going to order some plexiglass shields for the desk, and, I would like to do that, but there's just so much concern over keeping everything clean. And, do you have the ability and the staff to do that? Ooh. And just talk about like how many people you let in at a time, and that would be determined by how many, how much square footage we have. And also, like, you can't let people browse because, if they're sick and they touch everything, then, so it's just, there's so much. It just seems like a nightmare to me. Honestly, as much as I want to see people and, like, be a productive member of society again, it feels like it's just scary.
And we would have to abide by Sam Page and the county. I assume,
Definitely, yeah.
and the county health. So,
Yeah.
And I make masks, and so if they wanted personal handmade ones,
You
the
make
tie.
them?
I don't do elastic ones, but the tie. I
Yeah.
would. Yeah.
Yeah, I make some too, and I've been looking for, the protective equipment, because that's another thing. I mean, I would personally would like to say that people can't come in without one, so then you have to provide like a paper mask for people. And it's expensive, and finding this stuff is not easy.
Do you have to provide one? Because I think like it's kind of like the grocery stores want you to wear a mask and they're not providing masks.
No.
Yeah,
Do
but
we
they
have
also
to
don't
provide
send
one?
people.
We
No,
can
but I guess,
require it.
what's that?
I think that we can require it, and if they don't have one, then
They can do pickup at the.
they can do curbside pickup.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'd be willing. I don't know how many people there are, but I'd be willing to make masks. But I can't produce them overnight.
Great.
That's the thing. And it's like, well, is that okay to provide like homemade masks for your staff? You know what I mean? I mean, I guess if that's all there
okay.
is, it's like,
Well, yeah, if you can't get the others, then.
right, exactly.
I think one of the early phases could be just let people like me get rid of all these library books I have at my house
Oh, yeah.
that you can take and clean, and I wouldn't have to come in. And also, there's a whole lot of requests that are going to eventually, the couriers are going to start running again. And it might be just to pick up and drop off as opposed to look around the library type
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, if you had a tub in front of the door and just say, we're just doing drop off to clean them up and get things ready, that might be.
Yeah. Well, I've just seen they have the book drop, only letting people return via the book drop.
Mm-hmm.
And then using the meeting room as a quarantine area, because it's pretty much 72 hours for books. So.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Some of us have been reading books that we picked up at Book Bingo or whatever, and we're ready to pass those on. Maybe just a cart outside saying book exchange, free books among yourselves. You want to even get into that?
No, because again, you just can't have people rifling through stuff.
I want to get rid of these.
Okay, but I have, Kathy, I know somebody who takes them to a prison. So I take it to her and she does something with them and they take them to a prison.
And the reading level is such that they can read something.
Some of them, just bring it, they can decide.
Sure.
And then they'll be dumped at her doorstep instead of mine or ours.
Okay, thank you.
But Jenna, keep us informed on what you're hearing. And of course, we all know what the public announcements are going to be. But it's really a good document as far as the different phases and what you need to do. And I think we want to continue to protect you and the patrons, the staff, the public. And, I'm not going to want us to open up any sooner than we all feel safe. And my wife is saying, as soon as they say it's safe, I'm going to wait 2 more weeks.
That's right.
I'm glad you say that because it is. I mean, it's causing a lot of anxiety, I think, just thinking about it. Like yeah. And I know my staff, I remember like those last few days that we were open. I mean, they were in tears and, you know, it was really like, it's just,
I was there for one of those days. It was intense.
it was intense, right? I don't.
And I felt bad, but I knew you guys were closing and I had a 10-year-old I had to get books for.
I totally understand. And some of us are just better equipped for dealing with this than others.
Well,
Hey, Jenna,
thank you.
what did you see the book?
And we will
Ed.
keep an eye on that. Yeah.
Oh, Kathy was asking.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's a bullet on the reopening guidelines that say, prepare for addressing the mental health needs of staff and patrons.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Anxiety, I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, you have to take care of the mental health of the patrons and the.
Oh my God.
What does that even mean?
We are like bartenders.
Yeah.
Okay, you're never going to reopen. I don't. What does that mean?
I think I think it's just being compassionate. I mean, and understanding that, you know, I don't know, it's that people are going to be coming at you from all different ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you
And just keeping.
Sanitizers under the desk?
Yeah.
Duck and cover.
If a patron came back and started freaking out because they didn't think the books were clean enough or something like that, you know, who would you call? You know,
Yeah.
you might have to call the ambulance people to come and restrain the person. Who knows what? So
That's pretty scary.
Is it?
Hand in hand with some of your work there, Jenna.
Is there any trauma-informed webinars or anything that you guys could be doing, or?
Yeah. There's one actually on that sheet. There's a link to it. Mid-Continent Public Library put one on. So that's going to be required viewing for all of us.
Yeah, I just think, that, you know, like being a librarian, you're like a bartender, you are, or a therapist is really a better word for it.
Yeah.
And I think that because libraries usually, I mean, you help everyone in the community, but you're really a lifeline for a lot of those people who are going through some of those harsher effects that the coronavirus has brought to our communities, you know. And so you might be the place where those children who, I mean, that like their parents aren't getting along because they're at home all the time, or they've lost their jobs, or and you're their safe place. And so I think that that's really kind of what they're trying to address when they say that we're going to be talking about those social emotional needs of the patrons.
Thank you. Yes, that's very well put. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to add to that, a lot of the work I've been doing with my job, I work with Catholic Healthcare, and so we've been doing a lot of preparing for post-COVID and how to care for the caregivers and different outside resources. So I could even, because in my mind, that's just having resources. So if somebody comes to you and is in crisis, you're not, if it's a food pantry, if it's a helpline, you know, something. So just having that handy. So anything I come across that's not specifically for healthcare providers, I'll pull it aside and send you a link.
Thanks, Lori.
Yeah.
Okay. Any public comments? Anybody from the public want to comment? Okay. At this time, we're going to need to move to executive session, which means, Kathy, we say goodbye to you till next June 2nd at 6:30.
Hi, Kathy.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Kathy.
Take care, and we'll see you maybe in the book club next Tuesday.
Actually, I have to moderate a candidates forum for Brentwood Forest Board of Managers. So I am learning to host before then. So I will think of you.
How can you pick that over the book club? I don't know.
I don't know.
Also, June the
600
2nd
page
is
book.
election day.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. All right. I need a motion to go into executive session.
Ed, before we do that, June the 2nd is the new election day. I won't be able to make that meeting because I'll be working a poll.
If you think that's going to
Your
happen.
poll's gonna be open?
Yep.
Maybe.
Okay, we'll talk about that then. I need a motion to move into executive session.
So
I
moved.
move, Jeanette says,
Been moved and seconded.
Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording now.
Yes. Everybody go yes.
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 Okay, yes.
Okay.
It's still recording though.
So far, it's still scheduled to be on Tuesday, June 2nd, which doesn't involve us giving up our Zoom, but you would not be there, right, Carrie? And
I would
would.
also not, I
okay.
would also not be there on June 2nd. It's my youngest son's birthday. So,
Ah.
that's sorry.
Who was
a-
that?
of us.
Kathy?
Is
Kathy?
Kathy White.
Monday the 1st, is that a possibility, or is that?
Grab my,
Okay.
Tuesday the 9th is book club. That's the only thing I know. Oh, you know what? I've got an AU meeting. How about Monday the 8th?
That's fine with me.
Okay with me.
Sorry. I just realized I could do either Monday the 1st or the 8th. Which works best?
I can do either one.
I'm looking.
sorry, which dates?
Monday, either June 1st or 8th.
Okay.
I can do either.
Me too. I'm good. Whatever.
Either.
Can we shoot for the
Can we
1st?
can we do the 8th just to give us more time to get financials?
Ah, good idea.
Good point.
All right, we will meet Monday, June 8th in the same location, probably.
Probably.
Or we could go to Franklin County and go to that bar that's open all the time.
Or St. Charles County.
Corey's saying no.
You know, I was supposed to be on a cruise the 2nd of June, but the cruise is
Oh.
canceled.
Where were you going?
Alaska.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. that'd
Sorry,
be-
Gary.
Not on one now.
They gotta
Kennard
clear
canceled
through
all
there.
of their Alaska cruises all year long. There are no Alaska cruises from Kennard this year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
I was supposed to be at the New Orleans Jazz Festival last weekend.
Oh.
Yeah. They
How
had
was
it
the
on
social distancing?
had it on the radio.
Last Saturday.
We listened on the radio, but the Grateful Dead and Lizzo were playing at the same time, and we were so excited.
Last Saturday,
Oh.
my son graduated from Maryville, and they, of course, didn't have anything, so we had a drive-by graduation party.
Yeah, that's neat.
Aw,
Went very well, so.
that's sad.
All right, anything else? If not, a motion to adjourn is in order.
Okay, so we're
I
meeting
move.
June 8th.
June
Yeah.
8th.
Yes.
June 8th.
Second,
Okay.
all in favor, say aye.
Bye.
I just want to thank you all for your patience, your tolerance, and your hard work. This was good tonight. We got a lot done.
This is a learning curve, that's for sure.
Well, thank you, Jennifer.